This is Michael Brand. We are talking business, so let's get to work. Today I'm with Pam Mills, and we're going to be talking about change for the health of it. Welcome, Pam. Glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you do?
What do? I am a nutritional health coach. I help people to make positive changes in their lifestyle, food, and their health, just so they feel better, have more energy, and can enjoy life.
So nutrition?
Yes.
Okay.
Whole foods.
Okay. How did you get into this?
I'd have to say I started about 18 years ago with my own health, became my own health coach, my own health advocate due to some illnesses that I had. And learning how food changed my life and how it affected my health was pretty drastic. And so I was on this journey for a really long time. I was diagnosed with celiac in 2000, and just getting off one food changed my whole life.
Which food was that?
Wheat.
Wheat.
Or gluten, as some people know it better as.
Okay. So basically you got into this because of your own personal experience?
Yep.
Okay. How you doing these days?
Great.
Yeah?
Great.
Yeah. So.
I became a coach for the Celiac Disease Foundation. It was a volunteer position, but it helped me to help other people learn what I learned and kind of help them through that road of going gluten-free.
So how big is the problem with celiac disease?
It's pretty widespread. More people than you really could imagine.
Yeah. All gluten-based? I mean, that's what's causing it?
Yes.
Okay. Because you hear that a lot, too. Like, now it's restaurants gluten-free.
Right.
Which you didn't hear that 2 decades ago at all.
Nope.
So what have we learned in the last 2 decades that led more people to lead a gluten-free life?
Well, I think the medical field is recognizing it more. When I was tested, they said, oh, hardly anybody has it. We hardly ever test for it. But they had tested me for many autoimmune diseases, and they all kept coming up negative. And finally, another friend said, have them test you for celiac. And they did, and it was positive. I had an endoscopy, and it confirmed the diagnosis. So I think they're just getting more well-known, and doctors are testing for it sooner than later now.
Okay. So, but your health businesses or your health coaching is not just about celiac.
No.
What other conditions are you working with people on?
Well, I went to school. I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and it's based on just whole foods, no special diet, no names of any specific diet. We were taught that every person is an individual. And so we work with people individually and don't just stamp a specific diet on people. So I work with a lot of different people. I love working with autoimmune diseases because it reacts to food greatly. And so having people change their food, it can affect their autoimmune disease. But I work with all types. I work with a lot of children and food intolerances, and weight loss is very big in the health coaching industry. Everybody wants to lose weight and they struggle with it. And there's a lot of underlying reasons why people can't lose weight. So I try to become the food detective and try to find out what works for them.
The food detective?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. So how do you go about being a food detective then when you're working with somebody? Somebody comes to you and says, I'm suffering from this. Where do you start?
Where do I start? Well, I have a bioscan, and it does food intolerance testing. So not allergy, because allergy is done with a blood test. But this food intolerance test can just kind of give me an idea of what foods may be bothering them. It's not perfect, it's not 100% accurate, but it's about 80 to 90% accuracy. And so when we know what foods are bothering them and causing the food issues or the weight gain, then we can customize a food plan for them.
What's involved in the bioscan?
Well, it deals with the acupoints of the body and the meridians in the body.
Whoa, acupoints and meridians. Go on, tell me about that. Okay.
All right, well, we all have meridians in our body, and it's how the energy travels through the body. And I can test to see what's causing maybe some blockage, maybe it's inflammation. So we look at inflammatory foods, things like that. So it gives us a little picture rather than elimination diets. I used to do those in the beginning, where we would just take a food out for a week and see how they feel. And sometimes that would take the whole 6 months of my program because there's so many foods. And if one food doesn't work, then we go to the next food and the next food and the next food. It just takes a long time. So the food intolerance testing gives us a little avenue, a better avenue to go and start eliminating foods that come up on the list.
So what's the testing like? I mean, what is it, like a blood draw? Is
No,
it like do you keep a journal? Is it
No,
what
it's
is
not invasive at all. There's a little electrodes that go on the allergy points, which are the acupoints on the fingers. And the program is programmed with all the energetic values of the food.
Okay.
I know it sounds a little complicated and
The energetic value.
Yes.
That's calories, right?
no,
Oh, okay.
it's the energetic value of the food.
What's an energetic value?
Everything has a value, and it's really hard to explain.
Okay.
But everything's programmed into in the program, so I don't have to do anything. It's just put the things in the program. You come by sometime and I'll show you.
Okay. So tell me about some interesting clients that you've worked with. How have you changed their life?
Well, I've worked with many clients that have a wide variety of issues, whether it's food or environmental. And so we can test which food's bothering. So I'll give you one example. I had a gal that came to me. She had a lot of stomach issues and problems, and she knew milk bothered her, but she wasn't quite sure. And she would have, a little bit here and there. But when we tested her, it was very specific which dairy was the problem and which ones that she should stay away from. So by having that knowledge, it empowered her to know which foods to stay off of and not have to deal with this hit and miss stomach issues. I work with a lot of kids because kids don't like their blood drawn. And this is a quick 15, 20-minute test that we can do with kids and get through a lot of foods all at once. And so I've worked with a lot of kids that we find out that gluten is the problem, and they take them off the gluten and their behavior changes, their stomach issues change, their ability to do better in school and attention, all of that can change. All of that can be geared towards food.
Now you've mentioned kids, and of course one of the things we've recognized or in society is all of a sudden it seems like all these kids have allergies to some food or another. Is it that we're just getting better at detecting that, or is there something that's happening in the environment with our children that we need to pay attention to?
That's a loaded question, Michael.
Okay. All right. Maybe I shouldn't be asking that scientific question like that, but what?
My opinion, it's the chemicals that are different in our environment from the way it used to be when we were kids. Mm-hmm. Whether it's the chemicals on our food or just in the environment in general, it's changing how we react to
changing our
food.
biology, our kids' biology?
I don't know.
Or just being more sensitive?
Yeah,
or?
we're just being a little more sensitive. And I think the immune system is being compromised by just what we're exposed to.
Mm-hmm. So what age range of kids are you seeing?
I've seen kids from 2 to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's spring break. I have a really busy week next week because they're all out of school. Yeah. I've got a lot of kids coming in.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of symptoms are they exhibiting that they would come and see you?
Most of it is stomach issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wide variety. It could be, a lot of bowel issues or gas or bloating, those kinds of things.
Okay. Besides environmental, do you work at all like maybe psychometric kind of stress-related stuff? Is it?
Stress is a big thing that I work with most of the adults because stress is so prominent in our lifestyle today, and stress can sabotage anything in the health area. Whether you're trying to be healthy or lose weight, stress can sabotage that.
Yeah. So how do you deal with your stress?
I don't know that I have a lot of stress.
You're the one who doesn't have any stress. I got it. Okay.
I feel pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I manage it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways that I teach my clients how to manage stress, and we look at the whole picture, not just health and food. I believe in the whole person. Mm-hmm. And so we look at, family life, career, and if they need to go to a counselor, I'll help them find a counselor. If they need to go to a doctor, I'll help them find a doctor. So I have a wide network of people that I work with my clients. I don't just see one person and don't refer them out. I work with acupuncturists and naturopaths and family counselors that, they're telling me information, and I'm able to direct them in the area that might be best for them.
So you're dealing with them systemically, as a whole person.
Yes, a whole person.
Not just issue. Let me ask you a question though. In your own family, Has this changed the way that you cook and eat
Oh,
in your own kids?
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't start till after most of my kids were out of the house, but I have a couple kids that are really healthy,
Okay.
and they work really hard at being healthy.
So you talk a lot in public
I do.
about your organization, and obviously you have developed that skill through Toastmasters.
Yes, I
So
have.
tell me how Toastmasters has helped you become, how it's supported your business.
Oh, Toastmasters is awesome.
Yeah.
My husband talked me into joining when I was in school, and because I had planned to be teaching classes to kind of get my business up and going and getting out in the community. And so I joined Oregon City the early morning about 4.5 years ago. And I was scared to death walking in that door the first day. And they actually made me talk, well, I didn't they make me. They asked me if I wanted to speak the first time for table topics. And I was pretty nervous. But over the 4.5 years, I am 2 speeches away from Distinguished Toastmaster. And I've helped start a second club, and that's the Wagon Tongue at the City Hall. We meet on Thursdays at noon. And that's a great group too. So I'm actually attending both of them back and forth. I don't go to the Tuesday morning as much as I used to. But it's helped me tremendously. I'm able to practice my speeches or my classes there at Toastmasters, and it's a safe environment that I can practice and kind of have them give me some feedback of what I can do better.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So do you practice on your family?
Oh, all the time. I make them sit through my speeches.
So, final question: how can people find you? If they're listening to this and they're going like, "Man, I should talk to Pam." How do they find you?
How do they find me? Well, my office is at 702 John Adams, right across from Singer Hill, the library and the fire department.
Right here in Oregon City.
Right down the street.
Okay.
Yep. And I have a website, changeforthehealthofit.com. And they can actually make an appointment, and I do free 30-minute consults. So if you just want to find out what I do and if I could help you. I mean, people have come to my office and I said, you know, this is beyond my scope of practice, so, you know, I'd like to help to find somebody that can work with you. And I've referred a lot of people out. So 30 minutes, come find out what I do, and I'll see if we're a good match.
Well, this is Pam Mills joining us today about the business and also talking about how speaking in Toastmasters increased her business. And once again, I'm Michael Brand. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to TV Toastmasters. Toastmasters, where leaders are made. Tonight, I'm going to be talking with Katrina Rodriguez. She is the president of Sporty Speakers. Now, one of the things that most people know about Toastmasters is that we're a speaking organization. But the little known secret is that we are also a leadership organization. So I have invited Katrina here to talk to us not only about how she got into Toastmasters and how her journey as a communicator, but also as a leader. Katrina, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
Great, so good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
So tell me, first of all, how did you hear about Toastmasters?
So I had a coworker that was really into Toastmasters, and so she came to work with our company and she kept emailing out, come to Toastmasters, come to Toastmasters, and I just didn't get the hint. And so after about a year of her emailing over and over and over again, I started to notice that she was giving presentations at work, that everybody seemed to know her, and that she was just killing it in the real estate business. And I realized that there must be something to this whole Toastmaster organization thing. So I started looking into Toastmasters and found my home club, Sporty Speakers, and I've just been hooked ever since.
And that's where I met you.
Yes.
I love that. So I see you as a bubbly person, and probably our audience also sees you as a bubbly, very confident person. But I hear a rumor that you weren't always that way. Tell us about that.
So I joined Toastmasters because I was a little awkward in conversations. In fact, my husband always told me that I was an awkward person. And I just decided that it was time to stop being awkward when I was talking to people, to not feel nervous when I went into conversations, nervous that I was being awkward, and also get some presentation skills. So I'm an introvert. I stay home most nights, and I don't talk to people if I don't have to. And Toastmasters has really helped me expand and get outside of my comfort zone. I am now talking in front of groups, both in Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters, and I don't get nervous when I walk up to somebody. I can make somebody feel welcome because I'm not the awkward person anymore, and I want them to feel supported and welcome and not awkward.
So how long have you been in Toastmasters? How long is this transition or transformation
It's been just over 2 years.
So that's pretty quick turnaround from somebody who didn't want to talk at all to people to somebody who is now more comfortable and being in front of people and even doing trainings, right?
Yes.
Love that.
Yes, it's been quite a journey, and I definitely came in ready to go.
Yes.
I don't think so many people become black and white so quickly. Mm-hmm. I definitely have grown very quickly, and I see it in myself, and then I try and help other people learn how to expedite their confidence and grow just as quick as I have.
So what is your favorite thing about being a Toastmaster?
It's definitely being able to help other people. Mm-hmm. That is what has hooked me and kept me in Toastmasters for so long. I started off by becoming the vice president of membership. I joined 4 months later. I was roped in.
Oh, I think I might have had something to do with that roping in.
Yeah, you definitely did. But I mean, it was such a great experience. I was told that it's just talking to people, and I thought, well, that's why I'm here. So I went ahead and I did that for the first year. And it really was just learning how to engage with people, how to reach out to people, how to be the person that wasn't nervous, the person that made other people feel comfortable. And that really made me grow exponentially. And from there, I was asked to be the president of our club, and so I've been doing that this year, as well as the Area 93 director, and so I've been doing that this year as well.
So how is that? Tell me about that experience. What are the challenges, or what have you overcome? What have you learned?
So definitely, president has probably been the one that's made me learn the most. I always thought that I would be a very natural leader, and within the first 3 months, I lost 3 officers.
And it was all your fault, right?
Of course, yeah, no. I mean, it was life circumstances, and there were definitely other things that came into play, but it made me realize that maybe I wasn't supporting my team as well as I would like to. So when we got the positions filled and we started moving forward, we started making committees, I started delegating more, letting people know what their expectations were. And I think those are just skills for life, not just Toastmasters, not just leadership teams. It's learning how to interact with other people and engage with them.
Now, I know that you're a systems person, and being a part of the leadership in Toastmasters has given you an opportunity to expand in your system-making capacities. Can you tell us some of your systems and what you like about them?
Yes. So my systems, I'm a very big systems person. I did it in my work. I did it at Toastmasters. People kind of make fun of me for it. But going into the vice president of membership role, I didn't really know what I was doing. I relied on a lot of other people for support, including you. And there was a lot of resources, but they didn't necessarily tell me everything that I needed to do. They weren't day-to-day resources. So I started to create resources of my own. And it started off, and mostly it had to do with scripts, email scripts for different levels of participation of members. Anywhere from they emailed the club and were just interested, and I called them prospects, and then to they actually visited the clubs, they were new members, and they were existing members. And so I just started making these scripts, different systems, on how to engage with them more fully.
Now, did you send the same script to everybody, or did you?
I sent a variation of the same script for everybody. So when we had a prospect or a guest that came in, actually guest is probably better, we'd have somebody come in and they'd give their little spiel of what they thought of the club, who they were, we'd talk for a little bit, and then afterwards I'd send them a thank you email. And the thank you email essentially had a whole bunch of information that I knew that they were going to want, because every guest always asked me for it. And then there was this little line in the middle that's like italicized, and it says, talk about something personal here. And then whatever we talked about, I'd make sure to put it into that email. And I even had a different version for if I didn't have time to talk to them or I didn't get to talk to them personally, telling them something personal like, I heard from so-and-so that you blank, and I'm excited to meet you next week.
So how do you think that helped the membership?
Well, the first year we had a lot more members and a lot more guests after I started using these emails. For one, the people that came, they didn't forget about our club. It's easy to go somewhere and to be excited about it and then walk away and kind of forget because you're just busy with life. Not anything against people or the club, just life gets busy and you kind of forget how good of a time it was or how it helped you. And so following up with people, I started to see them more often. There were prospects that I hadn't met yet in our system that I just started emailing on a weekly basis to invite them to come. And some of them actually showed up. And I'm pretty sure they hadn't been there for over a year. So.
And I think you also extended that not just to guests, but also to everyday members. And
yes.
Why did you do that, and what's been the result?
So the reason that I did that was retention. That I think that the basis of a vice president of membership's role is really to connect with one another, that you really are the connector and the face of your club. And so people are really just looking to know that you care about them, that they're special, and that you think they're important. And I think that there is something important about everybody that steps into our club. And I think that everybody has something different that they can offer and bring to the table, whether they know it or not. And that's what we're here for. So people that have been there for a while, they might not be able to come because of life circumstances or because of a new job or whatever's going on. And I think reaching out to them on a regular basis, making sure that they know that they're special too. It's not just the guests, it's not just the new members, it's not just the people that are a little bit more needy than the people who are experienced. I mean, they need to know that somebody cares about them, somebody misses them, and that they really do bring a lot to our club.
Talking about job experience, how has being a part of Toastmasters impacted your career?
It has been amazing. I started off, I was working in a real estate company, and both on the administrative side and out with buyers, and I had to go and talk with people all the time, and I didn't like to talk to people, so it was very nerve-wracking. And I got very comfortable. I was able to do impromptu conversations, and it led me to be able to do the job interview process recently. And after about a month of looking and having different interviews and doing really well in those interviews, I was able to get a position. And I have been working there for about 3 weeks, doing a really great job, not to toot my own horn.
I'll toot it for you. I'm sure you did a fabulous job.
But I mean, it really comes down to the connections. Like, that's what they were looking for. And it's making sure that they know that I am competent and I know how to do the role. And that's what the job interview process is for. So if you can come in and you're not nervous and you can perform in the interview process, then they know that you can go into the job and be able to perform well as well. And I think that without Toastmasters, I wouldn't have performed so well in the interview process.
I also hear that you have led a workshop at Toastmasters Leadership Institute. And just really quick, what was that experience like, and what do you think are the nuggets that you brought to it or came away with it?
Yes. So I led my first workshop probably about a year ago, and it was for the Vice President of Membership role. And I came about because I realized I was told that I could sign up for it. And so I asked to be a part of it, and they gave me a couple of months' notice to prepare. I made a PowerPoint, I put material together and handouts and everything, and I went to the workshop and just talked about what I had learned over the year of being a vice president of membership, what worked well for our club, and what I think would work well for other clubs as well, based off of our club.
So if people wanted to know about these systems that you created and maybe look at them and incorporate some of them into their club, where could they find that information?
There's actually a webinar and some materials on the D7 website, which is D7, D and then the number 7, Toastmasters.org. And then under the resources tab, there is a link to the new member orientation webinar. I have a lot of my email scripts there. I've got the webinar and I think a few other resources like a guest book as well.
That's great. Well, it's been fascinating talking to you and getting to know a little bit about your backstory and how Toastmasters has just really done wonders in your life and your business and who you are. And it's so fun to chit chat. And I just wanted to say that if anybody is interested in information, that they can go ahead and go to d7.org website and get the information. And remember, Toastmasters is not just a speaking organization, it's also a leadership organization. My name is Allison Bennett. I hope you've enjoyed this segment of TV Toastmasters.
I joined Toastmasters to improve my speaking, listening, communication, and leadership skills.
Toastmasters gave me
incredible confidence,
confidence,
great listening skills,
poise,
great leadership skills,
leadership skills,
the ability to speak in public,
strength, a captive audience,
quality feedback from the more experienced Toastmasters.
Toastmasters really helped me improve my listening skills.
sales skills,
opportunities to go to different groups and widen my whole horizon.
Toastmasters has given me a more focused me, and I'm a much better listener. Toastmasters is fulfilling.
It's a great place to fail your way to success.
Wonderful way to meet people.
networking,
Strength.
It's addictive. It's a club of self-improvement.
It's an experience, it's a ride that you won't forget, and you'll enjoy it every step of the way.
Toastmasters helped me land a kick-butt job. I sang at one of my table topic speeches, and people liked it and applauded.
My business is doing great, and I'm very, very grateful to Toastmasters.
It's been a great experience for me.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for giving me so much confidence.
thank you Toastmasters for everything.